Very occasionally, trains just like this one can be involved in an emergency. There may be certain circumstances during emergencies when emergency services personnel need to gain urgent access to passenger trains operating on Railcorp's network in New South Wales.
In some emergencies, it may be necessary to enter the rail corridor and gain access to a passenger train before the rail commander arrives on site. This is only permitted when it has been confirmed to you by the Rail Management Centre through your communication centre that all trains in the immediate vicinity have been stopped, and if necessary, power to railway overhead wires has been turned off. There are a few technical terms you need to know to help you understand the rail corridor and communicate vital information to your communication centre and Railcorp's Rail Management Centre. The rail corridor is the area bounded by fences either side of a set of tracks. Rail corridors vary from a single track to double tracks and multiple tracks. Trains can run on them in one direction or two, sometimes on the same single track, but the principle is always the same. The danger zone within the rail corridor is the area spanning all the tracks and 3 metres either side of the outer rails. Trains cannot stop easily to avoid people who are on or too close to rail tracks. Because drivers sit up high in their cabs, it's difficult for them to see you if you're too close to their train. A train travelling at speed can seem to appear without warning, especially around a curve. It's possible you may not hear an approaching train, or background noises or the sound of one train may drown out the sound of another. Apart from trains, in the rail corridor there's equipment of all kinds, as well as gullies, obstructions. Under no circumstances enter a tunnel unless you are accompanied by the rail commander. A passenger train incident can involve a range of hazards: fire, damaged heavy equipment, chemical fumes, leaking fuels, to name just a few. But the two most common hazards are trains travelling on adjacent tracks and damaged electricity cables and associated equipment. If it is absolutely necessary for you to stop trains immediately, you or a colleague should stand in a safe place at least 3 metres from the outside rail. Hold both hands high and wait for the train to stop. Trains may have to be stopped in both directions. It is vital you understand that it takes a suburban passenger train travelling at 60 km per hour, approximately 250 metres to stop in ideal conditions. This is how far you need to be from a City Rail train travelling at 60 km per hour before the driver can stop the train after seeing you. Freight trains, some CountryLink trains and City Rail trains travelling faster than 60 km per hour require even greater stopping distances. The risk of electrocution after a rail incident is very real. That's why it's important for passengers to remain in a train which has been involved in an incident until it can be established there are no electrical hazards or that electrical power to railway overhead wires has been turned off. Residual power or pulses of electricity can sometimes be present even after power appears to have been turned off. In your risk assessment, you must determine that railway overhead wires have not fallen onto the train, rails, or other infrastructure near the incident. Always assume the area around the incident is live until your communication centre or the rail commander on site has confirmed that a rescue power outage has been authorised and implemented. Even if electrical infrastructure has not been damaged during the incident you're attending, there is still a risk of electrocution. Railway overhead wires carry 1500 volts DC, which can generate an arc of electrical current like lightning that can pass from the wire to you if you get too close. Vary. Your risk assessment must allow for all possibilities.
In this second part of the video, you'll learn about the operation of the emergency door releases.
In order to access a passenger train in an emergency, you must know its type, because emergency door releases vary from type to type. On the RailCorp network, you'll find these passenger trains. City Rail runs type T and G Tangaras, K sets, C sets, R, S, and L sets. As well, City Rail also runs V and V chopper sets, also called intercities. Millennium trains, Endeavours, 620 class rail cars, and 720 class rail cars. CountryLink operates XPTs and Explorers. In order to access any of these trains in an emergency, you would normally try to locate the driver or guard. In City Rail trains, the guard's compartment is usually marked with a blue light on the outside of the train. If this light has been damaged or isn't functioning, look for the guard in the centre or end crew compartments. Passenger attendants in CountryLink trains are located throughout the train. If the driver, guard or passenger attendants are incapacitated or unable to open the train's doors for you on City Rail's Tangara fleet, types T and G, there are several ways of gaining emergency access to City Rail's C, K, L, S and R type trains. On S, R and L types, the emergency door releases are located diagonally opposite each other. The emergency door release on C-type trains is here. You'll find the emergency door releases on K-type trains diagonally opposite each other too. On V and V chopper type intercity trains, you will need which are located diagonally opposite each other. On the Millennium train, emergency door releases are located on CountryLink's XPT trains. Emergency door releases are in the Hunter Valley, 620 and 720 type diesel rail cars have emergency door releases.
Every RailCorp employee, supervisor and manager is committed to building an organisation-wide safety culture, one that constantly stresses the need to protect the lives of RailCorp's passengers, staff and contractors. And that applies especially to emergency services personnel such as you and me. People who have to enter the rail corridor urgently when major incidents occur. Remember, every incident is different.